And I am back. I am back. I am back. We are back here to talk about primary health care and Oakland Primary Health Services focus on creating a healthier community. And I have its CEO here, Mr. Stephen Grant.
Thank you.
Good
Good
morning.
morning.
And I have Coco Moulder, who is Director of Outreach. I love outreach. I mentioned that before. I love outreach. So tell us, what is Oakland Primary Health Services? What are they? What is it?
Well, we are a federal qualified healthcare clinic that service the community. And what we do, we service those individuals who do not have insurance, who are underinsured, and those who do have insurance. We provide services such as primary care, uh, pediatrics, OBGYN, dentistry, and behavior health. And there are other services we provide with that.
Well, do the people have to come to you?
Well, we're located in several sites. We're the only clinics that are located in the Pontiac Middle School and High School and Waterford High School. It's a complete clinic for the kids. Then we have a main site, and we also have a site with the homeless.
Really?
Yes.
Yes, because the homeless, we know, get no care.
Right.
And would that be outreach?
It's complete outreach.
Would you tell us about it?
So, as the community outreach coordinator, my job is to go out in the community, find a need, and make sure that Mr. Grant is able to provide the services for people. So, for example, we have a new clinic that we're going to be opening at Woodside Bible Church, which is located off of Auburn Road in Pontiac. And the greatest need is not only for the seniors, but people who don't have access, either transportation, who don't have family members to get them to the doctors. So it's located in a position where that they can literally get there in walking distance. So the homeless are one of our biggest populations of individuals who don't have a doctor. So we provide a service by going out and finding out where the most need is.
Because the elements provide so many things can happen, and just not even getting that nutrition
Yeah.
and so forth. And a lot of people, I don't know, in our community, it seems like we have this fear of the doctor. So why don't you all speak to that a little bit? What do you think? Why do you think, Mr. Grant, it is?
Well, it's not so much a fear. Most men have fear of doctors.
Yes, they do. So don't say it's not much of a fear.
It's just an attitude, Part of the attitude for men is that, we macho, we okay, and that's the problem. It's a weakness. But really, the wives are usually gearing that health care, and they manage the health care. So they're starting to do very well with that. However, the real, significance about people who don't come to health care is that they feel they can't afford health care. The largest bankruptcies do health care.
Yeah, well, that's what I was getting ready to say. We hear so much about people losing everything once
Yeah.
they get sick.
Yeah. So that's where we come in. We're a center where we're funded by the federal government. About 70% of our fund comes from the federal government. 30% come from our insurances. But what we do is, those who don't or cannot afford or do not have insurance, we have a sliding fee scale where we look at what their income is, and if they don't have it, we charge a minimum for them to come in so they can get treated. And then we try to also provide them with some type of medication or some type of education to help them to come back or maintain.
Coco, how long have you been there?
I've been with Oakland Primary Health Services for 2 months.
Oh, so you're brand new.
I'm
So
brand
you're excited.
I
and
love it.
Everything. So can you all tell me a little about the history of Oakland Primary Health Services?
Yeah. Well, Oakland Primary Healthcare Services began in 2002. It's the oldest federal qualified healthcare center in Pontiac, Michigan. And what they've done is they started working with the community to provide services, and they've had some changes, and now we're in the process of reorganizing so we can provide a complete care in one place. We're looking at moving in our new site, and the new site we'll be moving in, we'll be having x-ray, we're having lab, We'll be having ultrasounds. We'll be having dentistry, so and also behavior health.
Oh, the behavior health?
Yes.
Oh, that's great. You know, I was thinking about, you're talking about mental health.
Mental health. Yes.
I was thinking about that this morning and last night because so much is happening in the country, in the community, and so many people, and especially a lot of the homeless, have difficulties
Right.
mentally.
Well, I mean, some of the homeless is a lot of our veterans.
Yes.
And they're having issues, and we're trying to work with them as well. We're looking at some of the veterans programs to try to be more easy to access us. And then there's others that your own family members that are out there, and people kind of embarrassed to talk about them, but they need help.
Yeah, they
And-
put Uncle Joe up in
Right.
the upper
In the upper room.
They leave his food at the door. Yeah, okay. No, but we laugh, but
No,
that's
yeah,
the
that's the
it's
truth.
true.
That's the truth.
It's
You
true.
know, a lot of people just don't want to talk about that.
No.
You know, and I know of people who say I'm depressed, and they have their family members say, "Oh, you'll get over it, this and that,"
Yeah.
but it can lead to deeper
Right.
issues.
It's a stigma.
Yeah, and another thing that's going on right now, and this is something we have to understand. We have a stigma about the poor and mental health, but right now, a lot of people lost their jobs. A lot of people lost their jobs. They're going through this mental issue of being working for a place for 20, 25 years. All of a sudden, they don't have a job anymore because of cuts and so forth. So now this is affecting the family, the kids, the mother, the father. This is bringing about arguments. This is bringing about different type of abuses. So this is why we're here to try to help that. That's why we're in the schools to try to help the kids with that as well, and try to bring the family into our services.
Now, you have these health care services in the schools. Don't you have to get the parents' permission to?
We are a complete clinic in the school, so we go through the same process if you came to your doctor to get treated. We have to have the parent signatures, or the guardian signature, or the individual signature say we can treat you, and that's what we do that every year. We go through that process of reaching out to the parents.
Because you know, there's some children who basically have never been to the doctor, and
Yeah.
that is a sad state of affairs. You know, but it's something you have to put into your family life. You
Right.
know, it's
It's
something
a
that you.
lifestyle change.
It is a lifestyle change. You know, and
Yeah.
a lot of times we try lifestyle changes. I was at the gym yesterday morning at 8 o'clock in the
That's what I'm talking
morning.
about the gym.
Yeah. You know, I was there yesterday. You know,
I've been trying to get there.
everybody passed out when I
Right.
walked in, but I was there.
Yeah.
But lifestyle changes are difficult.
It is.
And so I'm hoping that next Tuesday I show
You'll be
up
fine.
again.
Yeah, yeah,
But
yeah.
holistic. You talk about a holistic approach.
Right.
Would you talk to us about that?
Well, first thing you have to understand is that people have physical needs, they have mental needs, they have social needs. So now we understand what's going on at home and how we're treating these things, because that's very important.
Absolutely, absolutely. I mean, because a lot of people hear holistically or holistic, and they have their own
Right.
kind of pattern. So, what are some of the other things that you're going to do as far as outreach?
So right now, the biggest push is November 1st was the beginning of the enrollment process for people who don't have health insurance. And so our push is to have navigators or ACA qualified and certified individuals to actually reach out to people who don't have health insurance. Because as of January 31st of next year, the fee for people who don't have insurance is in full effect. So you'll either be charged $695 or 2.5% of your income if you do not have health insurance. Doesn't matter whether you are homeless, whether you have no job, whether you have a job. Every person who does not have health care is going to have that fee attached to them. And so the push for us is to reach every individual, whether they believe they qualify or not, to have health insurance.
Yeah. So, what if I don't have a job?
Then
and
you
I
qualify.
have no. Yes, but
Then you
then.
qualify.
But there's a fee attached. And when I say I don't have a job, I don't have a job.
Then
I get I go over my cousin's house and eat.
Yeah.
In fact, I stay in a
Well,
room in my cousin's basement.
Yeah.
So what happened?
we don't turn anyone away. We'll at least see you and work, try to work. If you don't have a job, then you usually qualify for Medicaid or some government, and we have individuals at our site that would help you to get signed up for that. But also, we still will see you to make sure that you're okay. We don't want to send anybody away that we feel better they leave and wow, they have a stroke or a heart attack or something because we couldn't give them something to help them. So we try to see everyone as much as possible.
Mr. Grant, you really seem to care. How early in your life did you want to be involved with health care?
I grew up in healthcare. I really kind of grew up in healthcare. When I was a young kid, I used to work in my godfather's office. He was a family practitioner and a surgeon. I've actually went from the stages of cleaning his office to being an MA to collecting to managing the office to selling his practice. So I've done this ever since I've been 12 years old or so.
Wow. And by the way, everyone, he went to Hampton University.
That's right.
With he played on the basketball team with Rick Mahorn. Little
did.
known fact. Now you know.
Okay.
That was
Yeah.
great. So you decided to go. You grew up where?
I'm actually from the Hampton area.
Oh yeah, you're from the Hampton area. And Virginia is a beautiful state.
Really
Have you
is.
ever
I
been?
have.
Yes.
I've visited Hampton.
It's a beautiful state, and I spoke at Hampton, as I mentioned, and Norfolk
Yes.
State. I had the pleasure. Plus, one year we went down there with the band.
Oh yes. Oh yes.
yeah.
Lord have mercy. But it was really, really nice. So I've been on those grounds several times. And what made you decide to go to a historically black college?
You know, actually, when we were doing the integration, most of my classes were mostly very few blacks in my classes. And so I ended up going, I said, okay, I got a scholarship to play basketball at Hampton and a couple other places, but Hampton had a real rich tradition, and it produces a lot of quality people, and I've had a lot of quality people that have been mentors to me that actually went to Hampton. So that's what made me go to that, and I try to also do the same for the kids that I run into. I do a lot of volunteer work. I work with the Boys Club, and I make sure every year I send back $500 so the kids can join the Boys Club who can't afford it in Virginia. So, and I like to work with juvenile service kids, and I like doing things that can help us because somebody helped me.
Wow. And Coco, what about you? Give me some more of your background. Where'd you go to high school and so forth?
I actually graduated from Cranbrook, Kingswood.
Right. Did you know Tanya Banks?
I do know Tanya.
Yeah.
I know
Tanya
Tanya.
Banks, Ron
and her
Banks,
family, yeah. Yeah. I graduated from Michigan State with my first degree was in zoological sciences with a background in genetics.
Zoological.
Yeah, in genetics. Because I was going to go to medical school at one point, and then I decided I'd teach. So I ended up as a teacher. And I worked in the Pontiac School District for 14 years as a teacher and a coach. And then I went back and got my degree in my master's in psychology, and my PhD was in health psychology. So I am on board with Mr. Grant's approach to the biopsychosocial model of health and healing. And so it's been a blast moving into this stage of my life. So.
Wow.
I have more plans for you when she's doing
Oh, he has more plans than all of this.
Yeah.
What do you do for relaxation?
Oh, wow. Well, I like to scuba dive. That's what I like to do. I don't play basketball as much anymore because,
Well,
it's a little more physical. But I read, and but mostly I like to swim and scuba dive, catch movies.
The reason why I asked that is because I kind of knew that, but I wanted to know how you encourage your patients or the people who come to you. Okay, we have all the medical stuff, but activity, like Hester Wheeler was talking about,
Right.
activity.
Well, I think as a part of outreach, one of the places that we're going to be opening a clinic is at Kennedy Center in Pontiac, which is half of it is an elementary school and half of it is for special needs students who are either immobile or nonverbal. And as you said before, there are a lot of people who have not been able to get to the doctors. And these are young people who can't speak for themselves. they're not able to make decisions by themselves, and to have somebody to come in like me to have programming where you talk and educate the parents about what's effective for your children, especially the little babies who think, oh, I don't have to exercise. But we are finding that kids, the obesity rate is massive across the nation. You know, kids who are immobile, they don't go outside and play anymore. They want to sit in front of a video game, or they want to sit in front of a television, and they want to say, they want to veg out. I call it the idiot box. That's what they do. So to go into the schools and provide programming or provide an educational piece that's outside of the typical education in the classroom, and say, okay, parents, what do you think you would be if you change the behavior of your children? Because they watch us. I'm a parent, Mr. Grant's a parent, you're a parent. They watch exactly what we do. So if everything is technology and nothing is conversation, and they're learning these behaviors, and they're lifelong killers.
There absolutely are, because a lot of us remember. You may be too young
I'm
to
not.
remember.
Got to be home before that
As
street light
right,
comes on.
right. As kids, we were outside
Yeah.
all the time.
Yeah, get out the
In
house.
summertime, we do our little chores and had to get
Out.
and stayed
Yeah,
out
yeah.
until just before the street lights
Yeah,
come on.
yeah.
Then you turn into Jesse Owens.
That's right. That's right.
You start
That's
running.
right.
But you know, our kids, you're right.
Yeah.
They don't do that
No.
now, and it's almost crazy the way they put every time. At one point, every time I call my grandson, what you do? I'm playing my game.
Yeah, get off that game. Yeah.
Get off that game. So he's been on punishment and couldn't play that game. So it's all the best.
Yeah.
Wherein my other grandchildren, with my son, who was the athlete, they're outside all of the time. All of the time. And you could see the difference in weight.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Seriously. And so that's something to be taken very, very seriously by parents, is you can start early your child having good habits, wanting to be outside, or at least get them involved in some activities. These recreation centers have great little activities, and they're not even expensive.
No. No.
Just something to get some exercise, because that's something that we have to put together with the health care. Don't you believe that?
Oh yeah. Well, you know, and we talked about the kids, but let's not forget the parents, because see, the parents get so wrapped up in trying to protect the kids, what's going on with the kids, and the pressures, especially with the single parents, and people working trying to work jobs to maintain households. Then you have those who have who's just not single parents, but the stress of working and all that coming in. They need to do something to relieve themselves of that stress to deal with the family.
That's why I asked you about what you wanted to do, because so many of us, we can't feel it sometimes.
Right.
We can't feel the stress,
Right.
but it's there.
Yes.
It's there.
And you've got to do that, because if you don't, the household becomes sick.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it spills over into the schools, and we're seeing a tremendous amount of young people who are dealing with parents who've lost jobs, or, you know, for example, I have a particular student that I saw yesterday whose mom was the head of the household, taking care of everything, and she got injured, lost her job, and it's just devastating for the household. So this kid is, you know, into fights, and nobody is taking the time to say, what are you dealing with? And he's like, nobody's ever asked me that. And and I asked him, well, what are you actually dealing with? And he's like, well, my mom lost her job. You know, we don't have any extra, and I got to come to school, and I got to deal with grades, and I got to deal with teachers, and then they're, you know, the kids are acting, and I mean, it was just unbelievable.
And he had to unload.
And he had to
How
unload.
will people, give me a number where people can find out, or a website, something that the audience can find out?
Well, our main number is 248-322-6747. That's our main office where you get any information. We're in the process of building a new website so it gives better information to you. But we're there. We have our hours are from 8 to 5 Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, and from 8 to 7 on Tuesdays and Thursdays. And we're there. We're here for you.
Oakland County Primary Health Services, and that number once again.
Is 248-322-6747.
and you really, really want to, they really want to help people.
Yes, we do.
You know, if you don't have your health, I don't care if you're a millionaire, you don't have anything.
That's true. That's true.
That health surpasses
that's true.
everything.
It does.
That's
Mr.
true.
Grant, thank you
Oh no,
so
thank
much.
you. Thank you.
Thank you, Coco.
You're more than welcome.
I mean, Dr. Moulder. You know,
coming.
it's just so great
It's
to
coming.
meet you. It's just so great. It's so great. So, ladies and gentlemen, you heard it here. It's time to take care of business health-wise. Thank you so much again,
Thank you for having
and
us.
we'll be back in just a moment.
When I got that direct deposit slip. But when I decided to become an actor, I did not realize the amount of faith and determination,
Yes.
self-discipline, and again, you said it earlier, everyone thinks, oh, this is easy.
No,
you know,
it's not.
oftentimes they see people see the finished product, but they don't actually experience the process.
Right.
And that process is a long, hard, tough process
And
for
a
us.
sacrificing
Definitely.
problem.
Yes, it is.
Very, very much so. And it's something where well, for me, my heart is always there. I'm always doing something
Yeah.
because since I retired, I've done 3 short films. Just getting that time, I got to carve it out to do that right now. Like I said, I'm in the midst of writing a play. You just can't stay away from
Exactly.
it.
Definitely.
And I appreciate you too. And it's called the
Monologues of a Poet.
Part
3.
Part 3.
Man Law.
Man law. I want to see what law man has. No, I'm just kidding. I thank you all for coming
Thank
so
you.
much.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Oh,
Thank you.
thank
Appreciate
And
it
I
very much.
look forward to seeing big things.
Thank you
Ladies
so
and
much.
gentlemen, we'll be back in just a few minutes with Table Talk.
The views and opinions expressed on the following show are not necessarily the views and opinions of W33BY, its affiliates, management, or sponsors.